Welcome to Issues in Focus. This evening I'm talking with Mr. Jordan Budd, who is a student or a graduate of NYU. He was also very effective in working on the Obama campaign and presently works for Organizing for America. And I am a student myself, or a graduate myself of NYU, and just wanted to ask Jordan a few questions, given President Obama is in his second 100 days. Jordan, a lot of people are, particularly from the right, are saying that the president is moving the country in the wrong direction. Most of us who were supporters of the president believe that he's a pragmatic president, and in terms of what is happening with the country, he's taking his steps with great thought. You worked for the campaign. How pleased are you or displeased in terms of what the president is trying to accomplish?
I'm very pleased. In terms of whether or not the country is moving in the right or wrong direction, this is what people voted for. Most, if not all, of the campaign promises that have been made have had some kind of dialogue given to them. Obviously, there hasn't been enough time to move on everything, and only a few things have been compromised on. So in terms of just keeping campaign promises and doing what he said he was going to do, President Obama's done a spectacular job at really giving credence to the fact that he is an honest politician. Obviously, not everything has gone as well as I would have liked it to have gone. The financial crisis and some of the handling of Wall Street and the banks and some of those issues I feel like could have been handled a little differently, but given the circumstances, you're not going to do everything perfectly, and if you are, you're probably doing something wrong because you shouldn't be pleasing everyone because people have different perspectives.
Well, I'm glad to hear you mention the word Wall Street, because I'm sure as a college graduate and at this college event, you are aware that for this year, many college graduates will have the toughest time to find jobs. But that is not only happening to new graduates, it's happening to graduates who are professionals, have been in job 10, 15 years, and that segment of the population, college-educated professionals, are out of work. And the president just introduced a bill or a proposal that he wants to see a retraining program for new jobs. You have heard of it. What are your thoughts on this, and do you think it's workable, given the bureaucracy that we know of and what we know of programs that have been put in place to help people to get jobs and it doesn't work? What are your thoughts on this retraining program?
Well, I think first and foremost I want to say that I am particularly pleased on a personal level because I know that my father is actually looking into going back to school because of this program, and I really feel like that just warms my heart in a very personal way, and the campaign and President Obama means so much to me on that level, and to see something affect my family so personally is really powerful. With that said, it's not perfect. There are a few things that I would like to see changed or fixed, in that you can't really be collecting unemployment if you're going to be taking part of this program, which means that you can't be looking for work, and that I feel like would defeat the purpose almost. My dad's not going to be able to stop looking for work, even though he might want to participate.
But did he say he would allow people to still collect their unemployment and yet go into the training program?
There's been talks about changing some of the language, but and it may have happened more recently than I've kept up on it. But the original document that I looked at that was explaining everything, I remember being a little upset with that. But it may very well have already been fixed, and if it has been fixed, then that's a complaint that I don't have anymore.
Well, that is good, because at least someone who might get a chance to be retrained. I am one of those who consider myself an entrepreneur, a small business person. I am college educated, and I feel that there is that segment of us who were truly, in fact, consultants, small business persons. When our business dried up, we had no unemployment to get. We are out here. Where do you see us fitting into this plan for retraining? Because some of us have to go back into the market to start all over again. If you had the president's ear, what would you talk to him about? NYU graduates, some of them who you know, some of them who you don't know, who are also looking for jobs because their businesses dried up.
Just to be honest, I don't have all the facts. I don't have all the answers. Personally, I would really be interested in kind of a Roosevelt-esque, WPA program, another Works Progress Administration, where, these people who are out of work, they don't have a market for their business anymore, whether it be they want to go back to college or that they want to do what they've been doing. I feel like there's a place where the government could create, jobs in various sectors for these individuals. I know a lot of people who are working class, who have been laid off in those types of jobs. There's no reason why we can't be restructuring our bridges, restructuring our highways, building new highways, bridges. There's been talk of high-speed rail projects that are going on. Just like under Roosevelt, expansion in the arts, I think the previous 8 years have seen a decline in that kind of activity. And I really feel like a lot of people who are unemployed, who were entrepreneurs, would really find solace in those kinds of new opportunities. And I feel like, there's definitely a place for that creation.
When you're talking about stimulus,
yes,
and most of us are excited. We're excited and are still excited that this is happening, because when the country does well, all of us do well.
Absolutely.
You're in New York City. Do you think, I know that the stimulus money must have been given to the governor and the mayor. I don't know anyone who has told me yet that they have experienced, part of that money. Do you think it really get to some of the little people who need that money?
I would hope so.
Given the bureaucracy, because it's like, government can't help it. It's built up
Right.
of a lot of bureaucracy.
Right.
And that is my greatest fear, that this money will come into many cities and the real people don't have a chance to access it.
And unfortunately, you're right. Obviously, a certain restructuring, if not filling of the ranks. I would just like to point out really quickly that one of the problems in the administration right now is that so many jobs have not yet been filled. And I really feel like, there are bureaucracy issues, but some of them might be toned down a little bit if we had people actually working, in those positions. But to get back to the greater point, just general United States bureaucracy does get in the way, just because I know that in my parents' home state of South Carolina, Governor Sanford has really put up a fight about the stimulus money. I know that they're probably not going to see very much of it. I know that in New York City, where I am right now, the MTA is having a lot of problems. They're thinking of raising the prices on the subway system, and that's the adverse.
I'm sorry to say this, but we just have about 2 minutes to go. Again, in the next 100 days for the president, any quick thing you would like to see him focus on?
I know that healthcare is going to come up, and I would really appreciate it if he stuck to his guns and made a real push for a public option.
What would you say to young people like yourself to continue to be engaged? Because this was a marvelous campaign to get people engaged, whether they were on the right or the left. For college students, this was a plus.
Well, what I'm doing right now is actually Students Organizing for America. That's what I'm helping out with. And I'd encourage everyone to get involved with one of those organizations. Hopefully they'll be on campuses nationwide this fall at the earliest. And definitely by the next academic year, get involved, start pressuring, your government to do what they said they were going to do. We have to hold Obama accountable. It wasn't enough to elect him. We actually have to work with him to get things done.
And I agree. Well, listen, Jordan, I thank you for talking with me. This is Verna Smith for Issues in Focus. If you have any comments, of course, you can leave a comment on this video. And of course, you can follow me on my blog at vernasmith.com. I repeat, you can follow me on my blog at vernasmith.com. And again, I'm talking with Jordan. Jordan, what's your name again? Give me the full name.
Jordan Budd.
Jordan
Budd, B-U-D-D.
Jordan Budd, and he's a graduate of New York University and very active in his community. Jordan, thank you again. I appreciate it.